What's up, arcade monsters? This is Zane from Pixel Palace Arcade and Bar, coming to you from beautiful Round Rock, Texas. It's not so beautiful today, unfortunately. There's some rain, and fuck the rain. And I'll go into that later on why I have such harsh words for the rain and any kind of water. But again, it is, I think, vlog number 11, 12, maybe even 10. Don't remember, to be honest. The July 6th, Saturday. I barely remember that date. Days are kind of bleeding together. It's been a while since I've actually uploaded to YouTube, so I don't recall what I covered last time. So it's going to be a pretty thorough review, but thorough review of what has happened so far the past month or two, maybe 3 at this point. I don't really remember. For the arcade, we're getting pretty close to opening. We've had some ups and downs, a lot of downs, some ups, a lot of downs. But we are moving forward at a rapid pace. So without further ado, I'm going to swip the camera over, swap, switch, flip, whatever, the camera over, and show you where we're at. All right, it's really weird when it does this. There we go. For some reason, I always start in this corner, so to keep with tradition, I will continue to do so. All right, so where to start? Let's start with the bad. Let's start with the bad, and there's been some bad, all revolving around this godforsaken fucking rain and shitty building that we're in. So, we've had 2 major leaks in the roof. One was, the first one wasn't a major one, but we had some issues. We fixed that, and then unfortunately, the new tenants next door decided to punch a hole in the roof and not cover it. And that actually caused rain to trickle into our building through this beam right here, and it was an absolute clusterfuck. I was up here super late, making sure everything didn't get flooded. But before that, way before that, we had the most epic of all clusters. This is probably a month ago, give or take. The women's bathroom overflowed into a drain that unfortunately was blocked. I stepped away for about an hour to come back to all of this, about under 2 inches of water. So it was, as you can imagine, about 8 hours of pure panic trying to get all the water out of this building. Thankfully, there wasn't massive damage at all. However, the plugs did not survive. The water hit the plugs, and we've had to replace said plugs, which sucks because we had to replace those, or we have to replace those again, and I'll kind of get to that here shortly. But yeah, that sucked. So those are all brand new plugs. Hopefully, and again, this rain stresses me out. We should have no more issues. The back doors were a long-term concern of mine. I think we've resolved those, so shouldn't be flooding from the doors. Everything on my side of the building should be water fucking tight. But again, any sign of rain, I start freaking out. Okay, so that was the bad. Now, some good. Before I kind of walk around, I'll kind of give you an idea what we're doing here. This past week, we had a couple inspections. We had two, I should say. Our health inspection and our final electric inspection. Both, unfortunately, failed. We knew we were going to fail the health inspection because we just knew based on the list they gave us, and they even told us no one passes the first time. So we were pretty confident we were not going to pass, but it was needed. We wanted to get him on site to kind of really give us a quick, hour rundown of exactly what he needs to see in his own words. So we got that done, and we're working on getting that wrapped up. He'll be back on the 11th to do it again. Cross our fingers we pass, which will be major. Also coming up next week, we have potentially another final electrical inspection, and then hopefully final mechanical. Electrical inspection happened last week. It was the final. However, with no logic at all, they dinged us and said that these floor plugs because they were in the quote-unquote dining area, whatever that means, they had to be tamper-proof. So all the plugs, all here and along the walls, anyone there where there's a 0.5% of a chance that someone can get in there, which is nearly impossible because there's gonna be machines blocking these, they have to be tamper-proof. So he dinged us on that. So going back to the whole water issue, I unfortunately had to pay to replace these plugs, even though we have to replace them again. Again, sucks, burning money on unnecessary things. But my guys are coming back on Monday, knock it out in about a day or two. We'll get that final and be done. So next week is critical for getting 3 inspections done, and all we have left is plumbing inspection and then the end-all be-all of the fire marshal. So, all right, with that being said, let's get to the good stuff. Let's do a little tour where we've been. Last time, I think I videoed, this place was an absolute disaster. There's probably shit everywhere. We cleaned it up pretty well, mainly for the inspection, for the health inspection. Got rid of all the construction stuff, with the exception of a couple things, tools and all that, but all the major construction stuff is gone. Scrubbed these floors a couple times. It's going to take a couple more times to get it really clean, but we did a really good cleaning of this place for the health inspection. As you can see, we do have some machines in here. I've been kind of slowly, very slowly but surely bringing games into the arcade. We've got Strikers, Karate Champ, I feel like there's one at Dio, Mortal Kombat 2, Hang On, which might go back to the shop. Well, it will go back to the shop. It needs some work. Dragon's Lair is also going to go back. Good. I want to put it in the correct cab. Pac-Man, Frogger, Donkey Kong, Double Dragon. What do we got here? Track and Field, Popeye, super underrated, and a beautiful elevator action cabinet. All right, moving along. Trying to be super slow. I've got some complaints or some opinions on how fast some of these videos go as far as me panning, so I'm trying to be very cognizant of that. All my beautiful red chairs are finally in the building to be placed. They're waiting patiently to see where their final home is going to be. Now, on to the crown jewel, the bar, and my beautiful bar top that no one seemed to know how to do. I finally worked out all the kinks. We're on phase 3 of what I'm saying, phase 6 or 6 phases. They're all small things, but there she is. I'll show you an example if you haven't seen it before of what it's going to look like. So you got blue, mostly blue always because it matches our logo, but we will have the ability to change colors. It is RGB, so we can make it whatever color we want. And then all these tokens, these are some samples of tokens that will be inlaid all across the bar in epoxy. I can't really tell the depth here, but they're just low enough to get the tokens in there. And if you are a member of the Arcade Monster Club, you actually get your own token right here with your name and forever enshrined in the arcade. This itself was a project that's taken me months to get right. Many versions of it. Lots of R&D. Lots of different versions of it. But it finally worked out all the kinks and everything kind of fell into place once I figured all the problems out. Again, no one I could find would help me with this bar top. They didn't understand what I was trying to do, and if they did, they're like, we can maybe do it, but it's gonna cost you 50 fucking grand. I was like, nope, go kick rocks. I'm not paying 50 grand for you to maybe know how to do it. So it's taken longer than expected because I didn't know how to do it, but I kind of had it in my brain what I wanted it to look like, and through extensive research and, like I said, a lot of trial and error, we got to this point. It's gonna look pretty dope. All right, moving on. Again, just clean stuff here. Do got some skee balls. All working. The colors look off right now because All my beautiful LEDs are on. Purple makes everything look kind of weird. Man, look how beautiful that looks. Just like an oasis jewel. All right. Moving on to the museum. This last time was probably empty all the way, or just a couple things, but as you can tell, we have fulfilled it quite well. I'll do a quick or do a slow, kind of slow pan of what we have in here so far. Again, everything from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And there are some things that fall outside of that. I am aware of that, but for the most part, we're trying to stick within those 3 decades because that's kind of the theme, the model, if you will, of the arcade. Some things I've bought, some things are mine, and awesomely, some things have been donated by members of our awesome community. Coming through on some awesome shit. So if you have something you want to donate, let me know. Probably have your name on it somewhere. We haven't figured out how we're going to do that, but all right, moving on. Nothing exciting there. I'm not wasting time. It's just janitor closet, office, server rack. I'm really going deep in here, guys. Sorry. Office. Nothing too exciting. My wife slash GM is working on this. This is her hideaway. All right, moving on. All right. Then we have this. Super proud of this. This is one of the things I was a non-negotiable. I wanted this to follow exactly how it was in my brain, and we came pretty damn close. This tile was super hard to find. Finding this type of wallpaper, it wasn't hard, but it all worked together really, really, really well. Missing a mirror still. There's gonna be some artwork on the wall, like, you know, typical boy stuff. This is the men's room slash boys room. And we'll show you the women's room in here in a second. Pretty dope, pretty dope. All right, moving on. Go into the kitchen here. All right, kitchen is pretty clean, mostly organized. I think last time there was just, it was probably a fucking war zone in here, who knows. All of our equipment is finally on, which took fucking forever, but now equipment is on. Everything is starting to find its places. All our snacks. Definitely not allowed to have those, wink wink, but we have them. Nothing crazy in here, typical kitchen. But it finally taking shape. And a little information alley over here. Like I said, nothing too exciting here, but we got power, which is half the battle. All right, moving on. Finally got Coke back out here to do most of the work. We got our Coke machine finally. They'll come out back here hopefully next week and kind of wrap things up with all of our guns in the bar and then all of our Coke bibs. Taking shape. Moving on. If I haven't mentioned this, it's kind of moved around a little bit, but this is the 80s grandma's living room / we officially called it the den. That neon sign is going to go up there with all the wood paneling you might have saw in the front. So we're almost done with this as well. We moved it because of the water stuff. All right. And last but not least, women's bathroom. Yes, we have a bad toilet already. That will be replaced next week. So, same theme, just in pretty pink. Colors are reversed. Again, couldn't have asked for anything better. This is exactly how I had it in my mind, and sometimes articulating things to people is difficult for me because my mind is constantly in chaos and shit just bouncing around. But I think this, of all things, turned out exactly how I wanted it to. Again, missing a mirror. All right, let's wrap things up here. Go back to the front where there's some more light. We are losing light. It is later in the day. flip it around to my beautiful mug here. Do one last. I will say that bar is fucking amazing. Look at that thing. Look at it. Look at it. It's amazing. Oh, those bar foot rails will be installed next week as well. A lot of shit's happening next week. All right. All right, so that's it. I'm not sure how to wrap this up or then kind of recap. Again, so close to opening. I can't even tell you how close we are to opening. Once we get these last final inspections done, we can bring food in. We can start finally testing all our equipment, which we have not done yet. We can start testing recipes and kind of really moving forward towards the open date. I don't have an official date just yet. I want to pass these final inspections first before I start getting comfortable throwing numbers out there and days out there. But so close, I can taste it. So close. With exception of these last couple inspections, we're golden. We're moving forward at a rapid fucking pace. So, what hot take am I going to leave you guys today? All right. I thought about this one actually, going back and forth. This one is my funniest one, I think, or most controversial. The Cowboy Bebop adaptation on Netflix is a pretty good damn adaptation. I love you guys. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. All right. Bye, guys. Love you.